Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
Scores of civil servants positioned to become shareholders thanks to a bold move by the government. It's great to have you with us for the Sunday edition. I'm Clint Watson reporting tonight. It's an initiative that's never been done before by any government in the Bahamas. Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham continuing to make good on a promise made years ago to build a shareholding society, spreading the wealth enjoyed by a small group of families for years, well into the hands of a larger sector of Bahamians. Taking it a step further, the government is making it easier and more accessible for members of the public service to purchase shares and become owners in the Arawak Port Development Company.
If ever you heard about a good deal, this is a good deal indeed.
To say purchasing shares in the new Arawak Port Development Company is a good investment is an understatement. At least that's how Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham sees it. In fact, because the likeliness of the port, the only one of its kind in the Bahamas, being so profitable is a given, he in turn is basically giving civil servants and anyone working for a government entity an opportunity of a lifetime through purchasing shares by salary advance.
This advance is to be paid back over a 12-month period in equal installments each and every month. The minimum number of shares to be purchased by any person in the Bahamas, including civil servant, is 50, and they are costing $10 a piece plus the cost of the share offering. Additional shares, if you want to buy more than 50, you got to buy them in multiples of 25. The maximum number of shares which can be purchased using the government salary advance will be 500, meaning that up to $5,000.
Now, those public officers who want to purchase more than the maximum shares allowed in the salary advance program are advised to do so. If you're interested, you must apply for the salary advance to the Financial Secretary at the Ministry of Finance or online at financialsecretary@bahamas.gov.bs. Now, keep in mind, in order to qualify, your salary scale, the ability to accommodate a deduction for the specified period, and your take-home pay will all be considered. The deadline for civil servants is the 24th, as the application for the public share offering ends the 31st of January. The Prime Minister also advised against people who may try to purchase shares from government employees by even offering you more money.
Think long and hard before you think about selling them. If I could offer a suggestion, I would offer this. Under no circumstance should you consider selling in under 3 years. And under no circumstance should you sell them all at any time. Keep them in your families forever. There's a long-term proposition. It's a very good investment, and it's going to pay great dividends to you over the years to come.
It's not the first time an Ingraham administration has provided avenues for Bahamians to become owners in the economy. In fact, aside from establishing the Bahamas International Stock Exchange, Bahamians got a piece of the pie with Bank of the Bahamas, the construction of the second Paradise Island Bridge, Cable Bahamas, and the acquisition of Commonwealth Brewery. All entities continue to thrive on BISIX, now with 40% of the Arawak Key Port privately owned and the other matched by the government for now. The remaining 20% is being made available to the Bahamian public.
Ownership in the port will make more Bahamian owners of a bigger portion of the Bahamian economy, and will cost thousands of Bahamians to share in what the owners of shipping operations on Bay Street enjoyed for generations.
The Prime Minister also noted that the salary advance program covers a wide range of individuals engaged in the public service. He also noted that no interest will be charged for the repayment plan, neither will the shares be held by government as collateral.
Persons who have been working for the government for 5 or more years, who are not permanent employees in the sense of having been appointed by the Public Service Commission and the Governor General, etc., will also be entitled to take advantage of this program. And this will include weekly paid persons who have been working for the government for 5 years or more and who have not been made permanent. They too will be treated as though they are permanent for this exercise.
Well, the private sector is singing the praises of the government for offering such an initiative as part of the share offering. General Manager of the Arawak Port Development, Mike Mora, CFAL Executive Anthony Ferguson, and Providence Advisors Kenwood Kerr all agree that this investment is a big win for Bahamians.
The risk associated with this investment, most of that risk was absorbed and considered some 18 months ago when the private sector group came together to invest their $20 million and to make this a reality. Today, the investing public have the opportunity to pay the same $10 some 18 months later without all of the associated risk that the original investors had. So as the Prime Minister indicated, this is it's a gift, and the fact that the government is providing an interest-free loan to make that a possibility is it's a bonus on top of that.
We're excited about it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a dominant position. We don't believe there's going to be another port for the foreseeable future. It's a utility. You can akin it to the Bridge Authority as an investment because the returns and the profiles are pretty safe.
The first of its kind in the Bahamas, where you have the transition of an industry, I might say seamless transition of an industry that was closely held, that's being transferred to the wider population of the Bahamas to the extent that they would own 60% at the end of the day, that it's a virtually risk-free investment based on all the undertakings that would have happened to date. I would advise everybody to go out and collect a copy of the prospectus, which is what they should do before they seek to invest and understand the business model, how it works.
On to some other news now. After mapping out a more comprehensive police plan to battle the war on crime, law enforcement officers gathered at Rhodes Memorial Church today to thank God for his mercies and seek his guidance in 2012. As they pledge to continue the fight, especially after challenging 2011 crime year, they heard from the National Security Minister, who said they are strengthening their arsenal to tackle the drug trade. And he also gave an update on CCTV. LaDon Davis reports.
Making the Bahamas a safer place for Bahamians to live is the message hundreds of brave men and women from the Royal Bahamas Police Force sent out as they marched throughout the streets of the capital on Sunday. With an improved and comprehensive crime plan laid out last week, the officers have accepted the challenge to enforce the laws. Minister of National Security Tommy Turnquest says last year's crime statistics reached an unprecedented level, and a significant percentage of homicides stemmed from the illicit drug trade and the use of illegal firearms. Turnquest says the issue of drugs will continue to be addressed.
The Bahamas National Anti-Drug Plan for the period 2012 to 2016 is currently being reviewed by stakeholders, and it is expected that the plan will be finalized and approved by the end of this month. The plan outlines a comprehensive strategy to address, in a collaborative and cohesive way, all aspects of the illicit drug problem, including production, trafficking, and misuse.
Now, to ensure that police officers are fully armed and equipped to combat the war on crime, Turnquest outlined the impressive resources the force has received since 2007.
It includes the enlistment of some 435 new officers, the investment in the acquisition of new equipment, vehicles, technology, and crime-fighting tools, the renovation of the Central Detective Unit building at Thompson Boulevard, the upgrade of the communications control room to improve the 919 system, and a new automated locator system, and the successful implementation of the electronic monitoring system for accused persons on bail.
But now that thousands of officers are armed with the necessary tools, Turnquest encouraged them to perform their duties professionally and with dignity.
As police officers, you are reminded that no individual is above the law, and that you are to enforce the law impartially at all times. All police officers must know that no politician or any other individual who believe they may have influence is to tell you who to charge or not to charge for an offense.
Meantime, the National Security Minister added that the government has approved a company to implement the CCTV project in New Providence. This multi-million-dollar project is expected to be fully operational by mid-2012. LaDon Davis, ZNS News.
Well, some retirements and promotions in the pipeline for officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. At the Police Church Service, Minister Turnquest announced that as of tomorrow, January 9th, Superintendent Leon Bethel will assume the position as Acting Commissioner of Police. Meantime, Acting Assistant Commissioner Emric Seymour has been confirmed. Now, for those retiring, there's Assistant Commissioners John Ferguson and Willard Cunningham. The National Security Minister also gave this update on the pending promotional exercise.
I'm advised that the Commissioner and his executive management team will soon conclude their interviews and assessment of determining those officers who are most deserving of promotion to the various ranks at this time. The Commissioner has provided me with the rank organizational structure for the effective operation of the police force, and I wish to underscore that the promotional exercise will be within the context of meeting the deployment requirements of a properly structured police force. I assure you of fairness in the exercise. However, there may be some police officers who are deserving of promotion that may not be able to be accommodated at this time due to positions not being available.
Well, 21 police officers who died in the line of duty were remembered for their significant contributions to the Royal Bahamas Police Force during a special ceremony at police headquarters today. Families of fallen officers and fellow police officers flocked to the Garden of Remembrance to lay wreaths and reflect on the impact those officers made while putting their lives on the line to enforce the law. A rather emotional Commissioner of Police, Allison Greenslade, says losing an officer at any time is not a good feeling, but assures the families of those brave men and women that the sacrifices they have made will never go unnoticed.
It's always a difficult day for us. Sad, broken, and contrite spirits. You know the infants walking up to lay wreaths. You see parents and children, and you have to be moved when you recognize that those are families that will never be the same again because of evil in our society. We're grateful for the sacrifices made, and we're going to stay connected. We're going to protect you, and we'll do the best that we can as a people. And I speak for the whole Bahamas. We do the best that we can as a people for you.
Well, most of those fallen officers have left behind young children, and President of the Police Dependents Trust, Gilbert Lloyd, says they will do all they can to ensure that those children are taken care of.
The trust is generally geared towards the assistance of the youngsters left behind, the wives, youngsters left behind by the deceased officers. And it's proven that these children need help. And we've now brought them to the point where they're from university to primary levels. And it shows that the trust was a necessary component of the police and somebody to let them know we care.